Instead of a gem or even a flower, cast the gift of a loving thought to a friend. That would be as the angels give. That's George MacDonald. Okay, I'll answer your question, but the way you ask it is something that I would like to give a little backstory to. I think it was interesting, something you said. It's something I've noticed about myself. For those of you that don't know, Nick Gisburn has converted Joseph, freetaught, back to Christianity. That's right. Nick Gisburn has converted Joseph back to Christianity. Of course, it wasn't his intention, and I don't know exactly what happened, but I do believe that it's the Bible verses that Nick posted that was the catalyst. And for a long time now, I've realized that I don't talk too much as in Bible verses. I don't quote too many scriptures or go to the Bible when I'm trying to make a point. When I'm talking to Christians, a lot of people like Brett King, of course, it's just Bible verses, this and that. It's not because I haven't read the thing. I did go through the whole book when I was a Christian way back when. And I've wondered now why I don't quote from it as much. I mean, certainly there's a lot of things in there, and it makes Christians think. I'm not really sure why I haven't been doing this. But now that this event has occurred, I think I can give some theory as to why I was doing these, or not doing that. And it's because a lot of people get their religion from this book. It's a way for these people to connect to their God. Now, there are a lot of Christians, if they want to talk to Jesus, they simply pray to Jesus. And if they want some answer or some guidance from Jesus, then they will simply think about it or just expect some sign from Jesus. If they feel this is the right thing to do, then perhaps that's what Jesus wants them to do. If they have some guilt, then obviously it's a sin and they shouldn't do it. Now, there are some other people that, of course, go straight to the Bible. What should I go gamble or not? Well, they go right to the Bible to see, whatever it says. I don't really know what to call these people. Thomites, like a religious tome. Thomites. This would be just a word, I guess I'll give them. Religious people that go to the book for religious answers. Muslims are, of course, very much Thomites. I mean, when they read the Quran, they feel this euphoria. It's as if God is directly speaking to them. It's like they're enlightened. They're center of the universe. They feel at comfort with everything. All their worries are taken away. And of course, for some Christians, it's the same way. When they read the Bible, then they get the same sort of feeling. So I don't quote Bible verses when I'm trying to argue a religious point, because this is essentially the part of God. This is a part of God that God has given to man so that man can try to understand God. So if you argue against the Bible, you're actually arguing against God. And of course, that's not going to get you anywhere. You can't say, well, God is immoral because he says blah, blah, blah. Well, obviously it's man that's wrong. He doesn't understand, or it's man's emotions or whatever, because God obviously cannot be wrong. So even if it's contradictory, it's still man's fault. God can somehow work around this. So I don't think it really does much good to talk in biblical terms. So, Joseph, you said, why are you an atheist? And you said, well, give me some Bible verse so I can meditate on it. Well, I really don't. That's not why I'm an atheist. It's not because one day when I was a Christian, I read the Bible and says, well, this doesn't settle right with me. I can't believe this anymore, or God's a jerk, so I'm not going to decide not to believe in him. Okay, so I'm going to give you the main reason, actually two reasons. And I don't hold on to these very strongly, so if you disagree or think that I'm wrong in my thinking, you can certainly say, hey, you shouldn't. Here's the reason why it's like this. First reason is demographics. That's pretty much self-explanatory. You have the religion of your parents. You have the language of your parents. Language creates a mode of thought. And you have the religious thought of your parents. I mean, this does not seem the way the spirit world should work. And certainly God can't judge people based on simply their belief when their belief is so much dependent on where they were raised. Okay, that's one thing. That's probably the biggest one for me. That doesn't seem reasonable. My goodness, what was the second one? Oh yes, lack of proof. If I come from a family, we love to argue. We will argue anything. I mean, if somebody agrees with us, we will argue with them. I mean, I'm serious on this point. We'll argue anything. We'll argue that we even argue too much. No, we don't. Yes, we do. And here's, I'm going to get out the books and, always. You argue, well, wait a minute, I have proof. I'll come back to this. A week later, they'll come back and they'll say, oh, about that argument we're having. But even with this nature, I love to argue. If somebody came to me and they said, God wants to hide himself from mankind, I absolutely could not argue against that. I have no ammunition. It is just as if God has made himself look like he does not exist. If God wants to do that, if that's God's nature, then yeah, I guess I can believe in that kind of God, although there's really no rational reason to believe in that. But if God doesn't want to hide, then I simply cannot believe in that God. God certainly wants to hide. Oh, and what I'm playing with here is some thinking putty. You said that you want to meditate and find the truth of the entire universe. Well, this is Crazy Aaron's thinking putty. This is some glow-in-the-dark thinking putty. And if you really want to think, what you need to do is get some of it. You can meditate much better with this stuff. They come in all different kind of colors. This is Silly Putty Glob A. This is Silly Putty Glob B. Now, if you want to know the truth of the universe, all you have to do is tell me, where is Glob A? We can answer that question. You will know the truth of the universe.